Democratic Party leaders have decided that the way to win votes this November is to shout loudly that Republicans wage war on women. Politico reports that this election season, Democrats will make the war on women bigger, broader, and more central to White House and Democratic messaging. This is a proven, persuasive argument. Others in the liberal media are on board. Here's Stephen Colbert playing the role of an anti-woman conservative.
Ava Braun, Fergie, that serial killer Charlize Theron played in Monster, Mrs. Butterworth, all women, all equally special.
The Democrats are proud that they have ended sex discrimination in health insurance.
No woman can ever be charged more just because she's a woman.
That sounds fair, and I would think it would sound good to my two guests, since you're both women. And in fact, this is an all-woman show, except for me. Ending insurance price discrimination does sound good to former president of the Women's Media Center, Jammu Green.
You suck, you jackass.
But conservative Heather Higgins says this war on women is full of lies. What do you mean, lies?
There is no war on women, well, except maybe if you want to call Obamacare a war on women. They're losing their doctors, they're losing their access, their choices are being constrained.
Reproductive rights. How do the Republicans attack women?
Well, if you look at various pieces of legislation, I think in the past year we had something like over 1,000 bills introduced across the country to try to curtail a woman's reproductive rights.
Anti-abortion.
Anti-abortion. And they couch it in terms of we want to do a 20-week abortion ban, but really it's about trying to close as many clinics in the state. And this is going across the country where we've seen rights pulled back. In Texas, it's much harder to get an abortion.
Roughly the same number of women are anti-abortion as men.
Why should we allow the government into the conversation, into the decision we make with our doctor? And then when you look at the insurance part of it, when you look at issues like even birth control, you have folks who are up in arms because insurance plans are going to cover birth control. But since the day that Viagra came out, insurance plans have been covering it. So this is where there's a real disconnect.
Big difference. Some cover it, and you can buy it or not. But Obamacare requires me to pay for birth control.
Birth control in and of itself is health care.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying. Always lying to me. You lying so much. You making it hard for me.
It's $12 a month at Walmart. A woman, government has to pay for this?
And the men in their lives.
Jammu, I assume you're happy that it's no longer legal for a health insurance company to discriminate against you women by charging you more than they charge men. And President Obama likes to point that out.
You can't be charged more if you're a woman. Those days are over.
Yes, of course I'm extremely happy. And as I said before, as are the men in the women's lives. Now, I come from a family, and I think many people do, who my mom put our health care before hers. She put my dad's health care before hers. I think there are many women. We're not going to the doctor more.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying. Always lying to me. You lying so much. You making it hard for me.
And we should not be charged.
But that's the point. What do you mean? Hold on here. The CDC says even excluding pregnancy visits, women were 33% more likely to visit a doctor.
Do you want to live in a country where you charge women more than men? Is that the type of country you want to live into?
Yes, when it comes to insurance.
We have differential insurance rates.
That's not the country I think that most families, and especially, again, the men who support the women in their lives, want to
So
see.
you and I should pay the same car insurance rates and life insurance rates?
Well, I don't know if you're as good of a driver as I am, John.
No, there's
I
sex
charge
differences.
much more because men, on average, have more accidents. And you get to live 7 years longer, so you pay less for life insurance.
The gap is coming down, which is concerning.
But prices exist as a mechanism of reflecting a certain reality. How much supply, how much demand, how much need, how much expense. It's just as when you go to work for somebody, what you get paid is a function of whether you add more value than it costs them to hire you. Similarly with insurance, is what you're going to cost the insurance company more or less, statistically speaking, and there's reams of data on this. And it's not just...
I guess what we're saying is that when a woman gets pregnant and needs to go to the doctor, she did that all by herself.
No, we're saying that a woman tends to use a doctor more, but you also know that a woman is paying less for her car insurance and she's paying less for her life insurance, and she pays less for other things. And maybe, according to you, we should be paying more car insurance and we should, so that young men don't have to pay nearly as much as they do, and even older men don't need to pay as much, because
Car
under
insurance has nothing to do with the
it has
pursuit of
everything
life.
to do with it.
Car insurance isn't a similar issue?
Car insurance has nothing to do with the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness.
Jammu is willing to stick men with additional costs and not have parity there, but she wants men and children to pay for the costs of older people and women.
I'm glad. I thought your organization represented women, but I'm glad you're the spokesperson for why men are being so screwed by our health insurance.
No, what screws up health insurance is third-party payers and inaccurate reflection of actual prices and what people actually want to purchase. It is being required to pay for things that you don't want, and it is being covered in a way that gives you no responsibility for your own choices.
It is in the best interest of our society that women are healthy, that we have access to affordable health care.
I agree.
It is in the best interest.
The car insurance and life
not
insurance,
just the women,
too?
but again, the men in these women's lives.
We don't
and that's
disagree
why
on any of that.
This is one of the most well-supported parts of the Affordable Care Act.
That's because people who don't understand insurance are supporting it.
Let me just close. When the Titanic went down, there was that moment where they said, women and children first. Is that sexist?
Yeah.
Children, I understand.
There's sexism way throughout our society, but I'm also from Texas, and I will sit here and admit I like a door to be open for me.
You suck, you jackass.